The story of Gomorrah isn't just about fire and brimstone, it's a mirror for us today. It's not only about divine punishment, but about how a society can quietly destroy itself from within. The real tragedy wasn't the city's sudden end, but the slow erosion of goodness that led there. Gomorrah became a place where cruelty was normal, selfishness was celebrated, and the vulnerable were ignored. This isn't just ancient history, it's a warning about the power of culture. Culture shapes our beliefs and actions often without us noticing. When culture turns toxic, it poisons everything. Our sense of right and wrong, our empathy, our future. The people of Gomorrah weren't born evil, they became what their environment taught them. Their story reminds us. We are products of our environment, and we must be vigilant about the culture we create. Let's see this story as a living lesson, not a relic. It's a guide for navigating our modern world. The fate of Gomorrah was sealed long before destruction. It was sealed in the hearts and minds of its people. The lessons they taught and the silences they kept shaped their destiny. This is the urgent truth we must confront. What kind of culture are we building today? Gomorrah's lesson isn't about specific sins, it's about the danger of conformity. When a society agrees to follow a corrupt path, morality erodes quietly. People stop thinking for themselves and accept what's wrong because everyone else is doing it. This pressure to conform silences good people and turns them into participants in injustice. Children, born with empathy, absorb the values of their environment, good or bad. If cruelty is rewarded, they learn cruelty. If selfishness is celebrated, they learn selfishness. Corruption is passed down, not by choice, but by absorption. Like a river's current, a corrupt culture pulls everyone along, resisting it takes strength. In Gomorrah, people lost their ability to question, lost their moral independence. When conscience is ignored, trust and empathy fade, and society's foundation crumbles. The strength of a society lies in the moral character of its people, not its wealth or power. When conformity replaces conscience, collapse is inevitable. The real threat isn't from outside, it's the enemy within our own hearts. We must resist the current, even when it's easier to go along. Our future depends on it. Will we have the courage to stand apart, or will we let conformity decide our fate? The choice is ours. Children absorb everything around them, good and bad. They learn not just from what we say, but from what they see and experience daily. If the world outside rewards greed and cruelty, those lessons sink in deeper than any words at home. The values of the street and screen can overpower the values at the dinner table. That's why the environment we create for our children is crucial. We can't just tell them to be good. We must show them what a good society looks like. They learn morality by seeing it in action, justice by experiencing fairness. When surrounded by injustice, their sense of right and wrong becomes warped. The story of Gomorrah shows how children inherit the culture around them, good or bad. In Gomorrah, kindness was punished, cruelty was normal, and children absorbed these lessons. They became the next generation to carry on the cycle. Protecting our children means actively shaping their environment. We must ensure the values they absorb are those of integrity, empathy, and justice. It's not passive, it's a daily, intentional act. What are we teaching the next generation? Good people can do terrible things when obedience overrides conscience. We're taught to respect authority, but blind obedience has a dark side. When authority demands what's wrong, people excuse themselves. I'm just following orders. History is full of ordinary people committing atrocities because they surrendered their judgment. In Gomorrah, cruelty was law, and people obeyed without question. Their obedience made them complicit in the city's downfall. True morality isn't about following rules blindly. It's about understanding the principles behind them. We must teach our children to think critically and question orders that conflict with their sense of right and wrong. A just society depends on citizens willing to disobey for a higher moral law. Responsibility for our actions can't be outsourced to authority. The refusal to question injustice is itself a form of injustice. We must cultivate skepticism of authority and the courage to say no to what's wrong. Our future depends on moral independence, not blind conformity. Will we choose conscience over conformity? The answer shapes our society. Let's choose wisely. Leaders and laws don't just govern, they teach. The laws we pass and the leaders we choose set the moral tone for everyone. When laws protect the vulnerable, they teach compassion. When they reward the powerful, they teach indifference. In Gomorrah, leaders and laws promoted cruelty and punished kindness. Official cruelty became the norm, poisoning the soul of the city. Laws are more than legal documents, they're moral statements. If we allow cruelty into our laws, we teach our children to be cruel. The moral character of a nation reflects its laws and leaders. We must pay attention to the direction they set. Are we building unity or division? Are we protecting the vulnerable or abandoning them? The lessons our leaders teach shape our future. What are we allowing them to teach us? The legend of Gomorrah's bed is a powerful metaphor. Visitors were forced to fit the bed, stretched or cut to size. It's not about a bed, but about the brutal demand for conformity. A healthy society celebrates diversity, a sick one demands uniformity. In Gomorrah, difference was a threat, individuality was punished. Forced conformity destroys the human spirit and robs us of our uniqueness. We must ask, do we have beds of Gomorrah today, places where people must cut off parts of themselves to fit in? Do our schools, workplaces, or communities punish those who think differently? The lesson: be vigilant against forced conformity, champion individuality, and create spaces for authenticity. A society with room for everyone is a society with a soul. Are we making space for difference, or are we demanding everyone fit the same mold? The most dangerous part of a corrupt culture is how it normalizes injustice. What was once shocking becomes routine. Outrage fades into acceptance. Step by step, society's conscience goes numb. Cruelty and indifference become just the way things are. Children growing up in this environment learn that injustice is normal. They see suffering and learn to look away, just like adults do. This damages their ability to trust, to hope, and to believe in a better world. When a society stops being shocked by wrongdoing, it's on the verge of collapse. The social contract breaks. Empathy and responsibility dissolve. The story of Gomorrah shows what happens when evil is normalized. Everyone, young and old, was complicit. There was no one left to say, this is wrong. When darkness becomes normal, the battle is already lost. We must never let injustice become ordinary. Our outrage is a sign of a healthy conscience. When we stop being shocked, we've lost our way. Will we accept the abnormal as normal, or will we fight to keep our conscience alive? How do we protect our children and society from Gomorrah's fate? First, guard our children's environment. Curate what they see, hear, and experience. We can't shield them from everything, but we can provide a strong, positive counter-narrative. Second, teach discernment. Not just what to believe, but how to think. Help them develop a moral compass and recognize injustice, even when it's subtle. Third, model integrity. Children learn most from what we do. Our daily choices are powerful lessons. Finally, instill a holistic morality, justice, unity, and compassion for the vulnerable. Teach them we're all connected, and a society is only as strong as its weakest member. Build a culture of caring that stands against selfishness and indifference. This is the hard work of building a just society, one family at a time. Every choice matters. What blueprint are we following? Let's choose one that protects and uplifts. The lesson of Gomorrah isn't despair, it's a call to action. The future isn't set, our choices shape it. We can float with the current or resist conformity and injustice. This resistance starts within, cultivating integrity and moral courage. We must be the people we want our children to become, even if it means being unpopular. The battle for our community's soul is won in our own hearts. From there, we build strong families and just communities. We support leaders who appeal to our better angels, and demand laws that protect the vulnerable. It's not easy, but it's the only way to build a society worthy of our children. Gomorrah's story ends in destruction. Ours doesn't have to. We know the dangers of losing our moral compass. Let's answer the call. Resist injustice, cultivate integrity, and teach our children to do the same. By doing so, we protect our future from collapse. We can build a world founded on justice, unity, and love. The choice is urgent, and it's ours to make.